Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest, Series 9, Book 4, Silver the Wild Terror. And after the mess of Koraka, I'm glad to say this is definitely the best book of Series 9 so far. And to be fair, that's quite an easy achievement to do, because before this, the best book was Minus, and that was only for obvious reasons, because Koraka was total garbage and Ursus just set up. But I can safely say Silver the Wild Terror is the best book, and I'm very happy to say that. With that being said, I want to get over this story, because this could be the turning point of Series 9 that could make the remainder of it, the last two books, good, and I'll get through to that in my overall plotting of this. But with that being said, let's get on with this. Tom and Eleanor were eating their food, and Tom insisted more for their journey. Tom saw that the map was taking them to the northern mountains, but there was no beast, which made Tom think Malvo was up to something. Chris also observed the map and said that there was packed with dangerous wolves. One of the only things to fear in Seraph, other than Malvo and Petra. Chris also offered them some warm fleeces to face the bitter cold. For Storm, Tom, and Eleanor. As they rode off, Eleanor informed them that they had only 3 tokens left. I said before in Minus that I wasn't sure if Tom still had the harness, since Tom still had the remains of Ursus's harp in Koraka, but this book does confirm they only have 3 tokens. Tom was also uncertain. He actually hoped they would face this beast soon, as he didn't like the feeling Malvo was hiding the beast. Clearly he felt that Malvo was up to something. Tom and Eleanor eventually reached the northern mountains that proved fierce, forcing Tom and Eleanor to ride off Storm and push along through the snow. After seeing some wolves in the distance, they were soon caught off as the snow pulled Storm down into a chasm. Despite Tom and Eleanor's chances of rescue, it was too late. Storm had been swallowed by the snow. Tom, Eleanor, and Silver climbed down the chasm to rescue Storm as they heard his animal cries. He was still alive. Eventually they reached the bottom. They reached the bottom. They dug out Storm and mended his broken leg with the green jewel. Soon enough they made their way through and out the crevice. With the help of Nanook's bell, Tom noticed a cave for a shelter, and when they got in, Tom was still concerned. There was no beast. Eleanor assumed they may not face a beast this time, but Tom wasn't gonna believe that. Just then, Silver began eating some strange meat. He growled at Eleanor, and Tom was concerned. Yeah, he is concerned a lot in this book, Tom is. Silver ran off into the corner of the cave, surrounded by darkness. Tom examined the meat, looking at its rotten state. He quickly tossed it outside. Eleanor got Silver back, and he appeared to be back to his old self. Soon our heroes came across a camp full of people. They joined them and explained Silver was a tamed wolf. It wasn't long, however, until Silver observed the fire. He grew mad and started to wreck the camp, defying Eleanor, and Tom noticed that there was green magic coming from Silver's legs. A man cried that the wolf isn't tamed at all, and he planned to kill it. A huge man pulled out a dagger, but Eleanor got some badass lines, claiming if they attempted to kill Silver, she would make them regret it. Such powerful lines from Eleanor. As Silver ran away, Tom noticed Silver change size. He grew bigger. Quick thinking, Tom grabbed the map, hoping his assumption was wrong. But of course, dropping to his knees, that was enough to prove that he was right. Silver was the next beast. Calmly putting away the map, he calmed down Eleanor and passed her the map. Eleanor wailed in such agony, Tom comforting her, saying that they would get Silver back, and they stood strong. Tom knew they had to catch up with Silver, but he also knew Silver had been with them nearly from the start, so he knew Tom and Eleanor's fighting skill better than any beast. Tom quickly asked the people if they could borrow a sledge. Of course, the people said no, as they said, if you plan to take it, they'd stop them. Yeah, so, because, this wolf just attacked their camp, do you honestly think that they're going to let you take their sledge, Tom? I don't think so. Of course, Tom explained their situation about Malvo summoning beasts to prevent them from reaching him, and how he turned their animal friend into one. The people agreed to look after Storm and allowed them to borrow their sledge, but if they didn't return it before the full moon, the horse was theirs to keep. It was agreed, and Tom rode off. And now before I continue on, this is a nice callback to previous books. I think Amictus did it, and somewhere in the past, but this was a nice element that was brought back to the old books of the classics, which were around 5 or 6. But I can't remember a specific book exactly, but there were books like this previously, which we've had on our journeys, and it's nice to bring that element back. Tom rode off with Ella on the sledge, and they eventually found Silver's prince, and Silver himself. His transformation was complete. Spiked fur, scythe-like claws, muscular body, piercing eyes and slavering jaws. Eleanor could do it. She hadn't had the strength to fight back against her bestest friends in the world, but Tom knew they had to do this for not just Silver and not just Seraph, but for all the known kingdoms. But then Silver howled and summoned the northern wolves. Tom and Eleanor prepared to fight Silver, but he easily saw their move coming. Despite Eleanor's trying to reason, he was fully taken by Malvol's spell. Silver got rid of Eleanor's quiver and Tom's shield. He had to think fast and used the sword to fend off Silver. Tom said they had to split up, but even when that didn't work, of course, and Tom was surprised, Silver leapt above them with his full body weight and crashed down. It turns out the area they were on was a riverbank. It broke the ice and everyone got out of there, Silver leaping to the other side of the river, while Tom and Eleanor took out the wolf pack, sending them into the river one by one, making them go downstream. Silver leapt back and seized Eleanor's mouth, so that's where it got interesting. And I'll show you that iconic picture where you've got Silver the Beast with Eleanor in his jaws. He's not holding back at all, so there is no concern. He's not changing his side, like, he's full on evil mode. Tom attempted to rescue, but Eleanor, despite being in pain, was alright. Her woolly tunic prevented Silver from putting force onto her. And plus, maybe he doesn't want to, as to show there is a small trace of Silver still in there. That's what I personally think. Anyway, that's not in the book, that's what I personally think why Silver didn't, fully kill her, because there's a small element in there that's bursting out, and that's why I think he didn't do it. Anyway, Tom figured out that the potion was one of the tokens, and that was the one they needed. He soon figured out that the potion reacted to water, so after being flung back near the river, Eleanor had tossed from Silver's mouth and lay unconscious in the snow. Tom had to do this, not just for Eleanor, but for the all-known kingdom's sake. Tom used his dual powers to fling himself on Silver's back and try to get a potion near Silver's eyes, but the ride was hard. Silver's spiky fur was painful. It got to the point where Tom had dropped the potion. Tom saw Eleanor recovering, and Tom told Eleanor to grab the potion and plunge her arrowhead in the stuff and then fire it at Silver's forehead. She had it ready, but of course it was hard to attack your best friend. But with inner strength she shot Silver. Tom fell off Silver, and the beast crashed into his side. They thought he was dead, but then when he awoke to his normal size, happiness was there until Malvol showed up. He claimed, despite the fact that they had defeated another of his beasts, he was nearly at the Eternal Flame, because you can see it in the distance. He stole the sledge that Tom had borrowed from the people, and Petra the witch tried to catch up on her, with her master. However, believed he had no further use of her, so he whipped her off her anacorn and left her in the snow. We also learn in this chapter that Noctis, Petra's anacorn, is from Seraph, and she corrupted the creature to make it obey her, so that's how she got it. Finally, Tom and Eleanor surrounded Petra, Silver growling. Petra began twisting the situation, from telling they needed her as she had secrets of Malvol, from saying she meant to be left behind to take out our heroes, but despite Petra's words, no one was, of course, trusted her. However, Tom's good heart decided to take her with them, facing the remaining beasts, and to stop Malvol, as she also held secrets of him. Lucky Storm had managed to escape from the campers, and they had previously met, and they tied Petra and walked ahead, wondering how things would progress from here. And with that, that is the end of this book. And of course, oh my god, such a great book. This is what we needed from Series 9. It needed to come back, and it came back with awesomeness. First of all, the concept of turning Silver evil was a great idea. I mean, back in my school days, I saw this book as I was looking up Beast Quest books. I said, oh, I just want to read this personal book because this is a great idea. And the fact that it's Mal-Val makes perfect sense because he's the villain they've had most popularly. So he makes sense that he would know this. It's wondering why he took this time to do this. But of course, this series fits in well with it all. Ursus being a creature, Minos being a creature, Cloaca being a person, all corrupted by evil, and it all fits. And I think it also blends in as well, because Petra seems to be sort of corrupted by evil, where she has Mal-Val sort of, you know, going her way. But she is her own. She's a minion of Mal-Val, so she couldn't be. But I'm just saying there is an opportunity, you know, there. And we also see people corrupted by, like, Chris and Cloaca, and then you've got the, people understandably so upset of what's happened. And the thing that another thing that I like about this is how I didn't like this. I liked this book more, actually, the second time round, because I saw the build-up of Silver becoming evil. It wasn't overwhelmed. It was like you had 3 or 4 chapters before the transformation. Around chapter 5, you saw the torment in his eyes, the fire being like a taming lust, and then the green magic bursting around. It all built up, and it exploded, and you can see it right there in the wording. And the fact that Eleanor got back in the series with a promising role, she couldn't believe how her trusted ally had gotten down this path. Storm was taken away from this, but that was okay. It gave our 2 main leads more center focus and less diversion. Tom used his dual powers again to help things out. He even used his shield tokens, which is a nice plus. Not to mention the fact that, you know, Eleanor, like I said, she gets more of a role. Tom, he actually has a different role. He actually improves in this book more than he normally does. Normally he goes in the gung-ho action hero type vibe, but this time he was more held back, concerned, patient, waiting, thinking this out, because he knew how Silver is the most smartest beast because of how close he is to them, but they also know Silver, but they also don't know him at the same time because of his new abilities. So it gave Tom quite some challenging. I'm glad to see how calm and tamed he was, because someone had to be calm while Eleanor was in this agonizing state of worry and dread for her friend. And then you've got the ending, which was brilliantly done, with the potion, and it had to be dipped with an arrow from Eleanor. It was the right thing to do. I'm glad Eleanor got the final blow in to end this, because it was her. This book was mainly about her suffering, and, you know, she had to end this poison that was on Silver's mind. And it was hard for her because, you know, you think this beast's gonna die, but of course we know he's not, because, you know, you see him in other books. But, you know, if you're not reading from that other point on, you know, this could be a big changing point. But overall, an excellent book. And it's another book where Tom rides a beast like in Khorne, which we had last series. Nice callbacks there. And the snow, like Nanook and all that stuff. Awesome. I mean, there's a lot of good little details to point out. Then the wolf pack, which is like the only, according to Seraph, one of the only things to fear, which is a nice added element. And the fact that we got Storm back in danger with from the beginning was a nice callback to Nanook as well, because I said in that video or that review or in Sepron that he was in the earlier series he was kind of taken out a lot earlier on. It was nice to bring those classic elements back. And then we've got the ending with Petra, you know, her, I thought that was like, there's no way it could get better than this, but then the ending came round, and then you've got Petra now a sort of ally to the team, and that was, oh my god, Mal-Val left her, and such awesomeness. But, you know, it's all building up to this one big event. because now Petra's their, like, sort of ally. And we've got Malvel heading to the Eternal Flame. And she's going to help with the other two beasts. With Spike Fin and I think Torpex, was it? Yeah, I think that was the other one. So it's nice that, and they're both lizard-like creatures. And it's all coming down. And you're wondering, like I am, if you haven't seen, will Petra turn on our heroes? Will she take over as the big bad for the finale? I don't know. I'm excited, just like you guys are. But next time, guys, this has been a great review of the Warlock Star. Silver, the Wild Terror, awesome book. Easily the best one of Series 9, and one of the best books overall in Beast Quest, I can easily say. But with that being said, this has been another Beast Quest review, and this is another good element for Series 9 to come back. Next time we'll be taking on Spike Fin, that Water King guy. So, Spike Fin. Till then, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and join us next time as we tackle another Beast Quest with Spike Fin.